So I want to recognize all the hard work that Amy put into the binder. She did almost all of that herself. I helped some, but she did almost all of that herself, and it was very thorough. It was very thorough. So we thought it'd be a good idea to just give you some updates on some of the projects, current issues, and really this is meant to elicit discussion more than me just giving you a one-way presentation. So if you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to just stop and let those go. So, so first of all, something that's going to be happening very soon. This is not working for some reason. Okay. So the updates: annexation of the wastewater lift station, annexation proposal for 183rd and Waverly. Talk a little bit about the comprehensive plan update and the draft amendment of sign regulations, amendment to the sign regulations. So the city Public Works Department is working on a lift station. They've secured an easement at the location shown there. This is right at the just at the north, it'd be the northeast corner of 191st and Waverly, where you see the red arrow. There's a 5,000 square foot easement on a private piece of property. Something that makes a lot of sense is for this to be in the city limits, since it is something that's going to be basically, well, the easement is owned by the city, and certainly will be city infrastructure. A lift station, for anyone who doesn't know, sanitary sewer is generally designed to be gravity flow and not be pumped or lifted. When you run into a gravity problem because of topography, a lift station is required to bring it up to a certain level where it can flow at a by gravity to the wastewater treatment plant. So that's the purpose of a lift station. That's the location of it. This is the easement. Again, this is shown with, not in the normal way a map would be shown, but the north is to the right, and up is west. And something that's really important about annexations is, in the case of an annexation for a property that adjoins the city limits, that currently is not addressed by Gardner's municipal code. It is addressed by the Kansas statutes. It does not require a recommendation by the Planning Commission. It requires a decision made by the City Council, by the governing body. In the case of land that does not adjoin a city, which is the case of this piece of property, as you can see, I didn't point this out, but you can kind of see where the Edgerton city limits are, which are on they follow Waverly Road, center line of Waverly Road, and the center line of 183rd to the north, and you can more readily see Gardner city limits because they're kind of shaded, and it's that dashed line. It's to the right of the arrow. Anyway, in the event that the land does not adjoin the city, the way this works is the property owner needs to provide written consent to the annexation to the city that wants to annex the land, and then the city council, the governing body, passes a resolution requesting approval by the Board of County Commissioners. That is then forwarded to the Board of County Commissioners, and the Board of County Commissioners considers the city's resolution of annexation. If they approve, they make findings in support of annexation pursuant to KSA. That should be 12-520C and not 15-520C. And then following that, the City Council will then have the opportunity to adopt an ordinance that approves the annexation. And if approved, the land is zoned in a manner most similar to current county zoning. So in the case of this property out here, the land is, I can't recall what the county zoning is, but it's a rural density type of zoning. And that's the type of zoning that it takes on if it becomes part of the city or something similar to that. Keep in mind that in this flow chart here, the steps 2 and 3 are not necessary in the event the land that's being annexed adjoins city limits. There's a lot of confusion about this, and we are confirming that this is the way this works. Although the annexation process does not require a recommendation of the Planning Commission, annexation, of course, has significant planning implications, and so we feel it's appropriate that the Planning Commission at least be informed of this and given the opportunity to discuss it. This brings us to the Zimmer project. This is the proposal by the Zimmer Company. They are doing work for an entity called Big Industrial. Big Industrial is a developer of industrial space, industrial real estate. There's this 80-acre parcel that's outlined in red at the southeast corner of 183rd and Waverly. It adjoins Edgerton on its west boundary at Waverly and on its north boundary at 183rd. It is not contiguous with the city, but they have approached the city and proposed that they would consent to annexation under certain conditions. What they're proposing is a facility that's about 1.1 million square feet. It's a distribution warehouse development at 183rd and Waverly. It's relatively speculative. I'm sure they have some tenants in mind, but right now it's a speculative project. Just for reference, that's the same size virtually as the Coleman facility. What they've proposed, what has not been accepted by the city at this time, is that the annexation be subject to the terms and conditions listed here, including 75% tax abatement. What they would like the city to also do is to construct Waverly Road within the next 2 years. And these are the other conditions they've proposed. Again, this is something that has been presented to the City Council in work sessions, and we've gotten some feedback from the Council, and you'll probably hear more about this project in the future. And again, there's an annexation that it's not contiguous with the city, and so it has to run that process that I showed you on the previous slide. So the comprehensive plan update, comprehensive plan, community development plan, it was last updated in March 2008. The importance of the comprehensive plan is it is a long-term document. It's a guide to decisions to be made about investments in infrastructure, the adoption of regulations, and various implementation measures to accomplish what the city wants to accomplish, based on a consensus of the citizens of the city. An effective comprehensive plan will engage a broad range of stakeholders, so it truly reflects the desires of the community or what can best be achieved through consensus. Again, it was last updated in March 2008. There's really a need to update it again. A lot has happened, obviously, since then. Not only the recession and the bursting of the housing bubble, but just the BNSF facility and just the economic climate and the opportunities that exist today. Just as a demonstration of this is the future land use map. It's part of the community development plan. And if you look at the plan, there's a close-up of this area here. That in that area, that's the area we were just talking about, 183rd and Waverly and the intermodal facility. And if you look at the designations in the legend, that yellow color is urban residential. It's not industrial or office or commercial. It's urban residential. So if you look at the next slide, a close-up of that area, it designates that as urban residential adjacent to the facility and the truck traffic and everything else. I'm not supposing that this would automatically change or this isn't appropriate, but certainly there's probably some discussion that is warranted about this area, the way it's designated and the way it's envisioned in the plan. And there are other areas as well that could be points of discussion. Something that's interesting is if you look north of the facility, I don't have the ability to point